Well, hello, family. This is Michelle Guines with Purpose Publishing, founder and CEO. I am excited about this opportunity to connect not only with you, but with some of wonderful Purpose Publishing authors. And today we are visiting with Miss Rochinda Pickens. Hello, Rochinda. How are you?
Hello. How are you, Michelle? How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for carving some time out today to be able to chat with me. I want to, before we even get started, I want you to introduce you. If you were doing an introduction for Rochinda Pickens, what would you say?
Ooh, okay. You know I live to introduce myself, right? Okay. Hello there. This is Rochinda Pickens. I am the CEO and the founder of Kept Woman of God Ministry. I am the author of the national best-selling book, From Being Kept to Being Kept. I'm also the visionary and one of the contributing authors in the book called Picking Up the Pieces. I am a wife. I am a vessel being used by God. I am a mother of 3. I'm the girl next door. I'm the woman in the grocery store talking to everybody all the time. I do not apologize for me being able to walk in my authentic truth, because I am who I am because God created me to be, and I am so excited to be here with you, Michelle. So that's me, all in a nutshell.
That is perfect. That is perfect. And I know nobody can do it better than you, but I'm glad that you did that so that I would have it when we get to the Epic Conference. I can make sure I introduce you exactly like you like your story told.
Oh, okay. I love it. I love it. Look, you know how to tell the story.
Oh, girl, listen. Rochinda, I am excited because we met 3 years ago, 4 years ago. How many years ago?
Yep. Just 4 years ago.
That time goes by so fast. But
I cannot believe
you are doing and how you are continually evolving, from, you're author, national best-selling author, and the first Purpose Publishing author to go national bestseller. So we are super excited and proud of you. But also as an author, and then the visionary for even the book Picking Up the Pieces. The national bestseller was From Being Kept to Being Kept, but then being the visionary and collaborator of the collaborative project Picking Up the Pieces. Rochinda, what made you do that? How did you tell us about it, and then tell us why you did that, or how you got the idea.
Well, do you want me to tell you more about the Picking Up the Pieces, the collaboration, or the first book, or just?
You know what? I'll have you do them both, because we're going to come back around to kept different to be. So that's your signature story.
Okay. Interesting, because my brain was just trying to figure out, how can I create a collaboration that could bring people together where they're able to share their story, and we would all be in alignment with one person, which was God. And so I did not know what I was in for when I decided to do this project. In my brain, it was like, okay, we're going to do this just like this. But it's more than a notion. It was work, but it was worth every bit of it. And so the collaboration, it actually put authors in front of a platform that they probably never would have been in front of. So my purpose was to share our stories together collectively, to be able to put them out front, to tell their stories where other people could relate to us as a whole.
Yeah. You know what? How many was it that contributed to the book total, Rochinda? How many was it?
We had 12? Let's see.
Are you 10. Counting the names?
I'm counting. Yeah, I had to count 11 with myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
well,
wow.
You know what, and that's impressive. And like you said, it gave people an opportunity. I know I talk to a lot of authors or people who are interested in becoming authors. They got a story to tell. And I believe everybody has a book in them. And you to collaborate, to do it in such a way that people were able to collaborate and collectively around the theme of God and picking up the pieces says a lot, you know. So there were stories in there. There's some fantastic stories in there. And I loved how you worked. Yeah, getting people to work together, that is, it always is a little work, you know, but you're used to that.
I am, but you know what was interesting? I hand selected each of the authors, and when I sent the email out asking them, everybody said yes. And
Really?
not one person said no. And they said yes without even knowing everything that was going to take place. So that really was the blessing. I think the hardest part for me was when you bring all the stories together and you got to cut it down a little bit because everybody had a chapter. And so that was the piece for me that I was like, okay, how do we continue to tell these stories so it can be clear, but be kind of, you know, cut down a little bit. So the project, I loved it. I loved it. My brain is thinking of doing another one. So it was not right. It was not that painful where I would say, oh, I would never do this again. I really loved it. So
no, it came out phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Look, you're one of the authors in there.
I know. I enjoyed that part. And then, you know, and living out who you are, you know, I think everybody likes having an opportunity like that. So do you have an idea of what the collaborative theme will be this time?
Well, you know, I want to do I'm going to call it a coffee table book. And I want to hear the stories of the women. We're all sitting around a coffee table and we're having conversations. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I just know that I want women that's together. And it's kind of like we're sitting down, we're having these conversations, and we're all are different, but we have a common ground, and that is for us to be together as sisters, just, you know, just talking. And so my brain goes to come and wine with me, you know, bring your bottle of wine so you can wine. At the same time, you might have stuff that you really want to get off your chest. So, you know, I'm still trying to figure out what that's going to look like and what audience do I want to attract.
Right. Oh, well, nice. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. So that's something new and on the horizon. Rochinda, I want to ask about From Being Kept to Being Kept. That is the book. And I don't want to say it's the book that put you on the map, but it is the book that you clearly shared your message of who you are and kind of your testimony. And for those who might be listening now, tell us a little bit about From Being Kept to Being Kept. Exactly what does that mean?
You know, From Being Kept to Being Kept, that actually, you know, that's my baby. That is the book that is, that's the baby. That's the book where no matter where I go, it's like, that's the life. And so basically, From Being Kept to Being Kept, that's about a story of many of us. I'm not going to just say about me because it's not just about me. It's about women and men that have been kept by the wrong strongholds. And so that story takes you on a journey of how we can be caught up by the wrong strongholds without even knowing it, until you get to this place in your life and something tragic happens. And it causes you to pause. It causes you just to step back. You know, like today, like the times we're in right now dealing with COVID-19, the virus, we have all been called to pause. And so, so From Being Kept to Being Kept, while you're going on this journey, you had to pause and figure out what's going on. And then God allows you, not trying to tell the whole story, but God allows you to break all the way down to be built back up, where you finally learn that all this time you've been searching for something and it's always been there. And so that's where, from being kept to being kept, that's where from being kept now, you're being kept by God versus all these things that have had you on lockdown. So
Yeah.
it is, it's a story that it hit homes for a lot of people that are struggling with things, because so many times we are kept by money, we're kept by men, we're kept by our jobs, we're kept by our children, all those things. So it covers a vast majority of stuff.
Yeah. You know what? And I like, when I was reading the story, and thank you for even selecting us as the company to help you work on it and get it put out. But there's so much in there, and just kind of layered in, it was a look back at your life. It was a look back at or a look forward to the future, and that walking in freedom that really is the thing. I think whenever I think of Rochinda Pickens, I think of walking in freedom. And Rochinda, won't you speak a little bit to what freedom is really about?
I can't hear you. Would you say that one more time?
I said, tell us what walking in freedom means to you.
Walking in freedom. Oh my goodness. It is a release. Walking in freedom is you can do whatever you want to do freely without having to fit in with anybody. And I did not get to that place until I had to surrender all of those strongholds. And so I'm constantly speaking on walking in freedom. It's that woman where she's no longer holding on to fear. It's that woman that does not have any regrets or make excuses or have envy about anything. And when you are able to walk in freedom, then you have given up all of those things. And so I'm constantly telling people, you know what? We want to gravitate and hold on to things, but in order to walk into freedom, you have to release those things. And so I have been walking in freedom for quite some time now. And it is, it's a sense of peace, to the point where you're sitting there saying, wow, if only I knew what I knew now. Or, because I look back at my life now, I'm like, I wish somebody would have told me. They would have said, Rochinda, get this right. But no, it took me all the way up until 44 when I had to surrender. But I would say maybe by 46, and I'm 55 now. So to walk in freedom, it's no age on it. Some people say, oh, well, you know what? I'm too young to change. No, you're not. I'm too old to change. No, you're not. It's just a matter of recognizing that you have been held in bondage and you have been held by the wrong strongholds. Once you realize that, then you're like, wait a minute, let me release this stuff. I don't want to carry that baggage around anymore.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. That's good. As a matter, it's funny. I was talking to another person a couple of weeks ago, and we're talking about this idea, and I think I've experienced it. I think, as a matter of fact, I think when we first met, I was experiencing it. You kind of, you hit middle age, and I'm gonna say, for me, I was 45, and you start looking at how much time you have spent on the earth and how much time you may have left on the earth, and you're like, okay, feel like I've been wasting some time or doing some things or in some relationships or that are not necessarily fruitful or won't get me, just I've been wasting time or wasting energy. And so what would you say to, for those, everybody right now is experiencing this whole COVID-19, and you're able to pause and you kind of make some adjustments, things. So what advice would you give to those women who maybe it isn't a tragic type of a situation that happens, but I think everybody probably, you hit a certain age and you start looking back over your life and you say, hey, need to do something different. So what? So what would you say to the young woman who is potentially thinking, where am I and where do I go from here?
I would, if I was having a conversation with a young woman and she was saying, okay, where am I? Where do I go? The first thing I would tell her, I'm like, okay, let's sit down and let's really be clear about this. When you say, where are you? You have the answer. Basically, I would tell her, okay, let's look at the map. Where were you last month? And if you look at where you were last month and now you look at where you are today, you know exactly where you are and you know exactly how you got there. Now, if you got there in a way that was not the right way, then I would tell you it's time to make some changes. It's time to make some changes. And now we're not going to sit here and we're not going to regret, the choices you made in the past. We're just not going to do that again. And I think so many times as women, and I say women because I speak a lot to women, as women spend so much time regretting the choices that we made, and we look at our age and we say, well, I should be a lot further, or I should have done this, or all of these things. And while you are spending time waddling in your regrets, somebody else has went on and picked up and start moving forward. So I would tell that lady, I would say, look, we're not going to regret anything that has taken place in your past. This is a new start for you. So now we need to pick up those pieces and start moving and take some action.
Yeah.
I probably gave you a lot.
You know what? That's perfect because that kind of segues in, because I know that's what you do. You are a coach. You are a life coach. And Rochinda, tell first of all, are you looking for any new clients? I'm sure that there are people interested.
Absolutely. And you know what, Michelle, absolutely. Now that I'm at home, I have a whole lot more time. And yes, I am a life coach. And the thing is, I love working with women that are really, really ready to do the work, because sometimes people, they just want to have a conversation with you, and we can talk to people all day long. We can meet some folks at Starbucks. If you just want to have a conversation with me, just on the surface talk, you can do that, but I don't have to be your coach for that. A coach for me, as a life coach, I'm on this journey with you all the way to the point where when you tell me you're stuck in a place, I'm going to ask you questions of, why are you stuck? What are you doing? And to the point where I want to see movement. And, I love what I do because I like seeing women succeed. And I feel that when I'm looking at a sister where she's been stuck in a place, and then I get really excited about that because I feel like she has allowed me on her journey with her to really kind of support her and help her go through this, because the majority of the time as women, we know what to do. We just really need someone to validate and say, okay, you can do this. It's okay to make a mistake. So many times we're like, oh, I'm gonna make a mistake. If you make a mistake, start over,
Yeah. No,
So,
that's good. Good. That is good. Well, I certainly want to make sure that we tell people how to get in contact with you, and they can check out the website, www.keptwomanofgod.com, and that's KEPTWOMAN.
And they can also
go ahead.
Oh, okay. It was a kind of a delay. You want me to repeat it?
Yes, go right ahead.
www.keptwomanofgod.com, or they can connect with me on Facebook under Rochinda L. Pickens, or on Instagram under Rochinda L. Pickens. And they can also catch me on keptwomanofgod.com. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So if you're on Kept Woman of God, if you're looking for Rochinda, you'll be able to find me. Or you can Google me too. I'm Googleable. Look, I'm Googleable.
Nice. Well, Rochinda, one thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about too is I know that this past week was your 5th anniversary of Kept Woman of God conference. And I know COVID-19 came in and we postponed it.
Yeah.
Women may not be aware of the conference. Give them a little bit of background of what they can expect.
Well, you know what? The conference, 5 years. I have to say, can you believe it? 5 years?
5 years.
This past weekend, I was looking at all the videos and, looking at when we started, from the time in workshops with 6 women to now being able to bring in over 300 women. And so anyone who has never experienced the Kept Woman of God conference, y'all have missed out. That's all I'm saying. You have missed out. And you don't want to let this opportunity pass you by, because it is a place where you will fellowship with many women. You will be able to connect. You will develop relationships with women that you probably normally would have never met. You will find out that there's a lot of people going through the same thing you're going through. You will be able to experience, the tools from each presenter. Every year we bring in presenters from everywhere. And each presenter that comes through that door, they have their own dynamic of what they're bringing. We all are different. And, this year our theme is Epic, We Are Still Standing. So we have all walks of life that are going to be there. And, I just feel like Kept Woman of God is not about Rochinda. It's about all the women. It's kind of like you kind of look at everybody and say, hey, I'm a Kept Woman of God too. And it's a place where you can showcase what God has blessed you with. And so I feel that it's a conference for everybody. You got vendors. It's just, I can talk about Kept Woman of God 24/7, because again, that's a baby that she was birthed in 2016, and now she's growing. She's 5 years old, and not only is she growing, the women are growing along with her. So I look at some of the women that started with us in 2016, and I look at the ministries that they have birthed. I look at the things that they're doing, and I look at how they are walking in confidence now. And you look back and say, thank you, God, because it was nothing but God. It wasn't none of us. It was God. He had his hand all over us. And I say that this year, he just said, okay, we're going to pause it for a little bit, because I want you to be still, and you're going to go a little bit deeper, because the theme is Epic, We Are Still Standing, and you all are going to show everyone else how we are still standing. So he's given us some extra stuff to throw in the ring.
Right. No, that's good though. That's good. So Rochinda, there's not been a new date set as of yet, but you will be letting us know.
Yeah, we're trying to go into the fall. I would say probably by at least another 30 days, I will be able to be a little bit more clear on when we're going to set this date. But we know it's going to take place 2020. Some folks are like, are you going to do it virtual? No, we are hands-on. We are hands-on, and we want to be in the room with our sisters so they can be able to experience all of God's glory.
Yeah, it's a wonderful conference. You learn a lot, you gain a lot. Like, there's a lot of tools and resources that are there, and then you get to just have some fun and to shop, and you get to enjoy some nice things and everything. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and it's a weekend. So for those who may not have, stay tuned for the date. If you haven't had the opportunity to register or sign up for the conference, just stay tuned for the new date. And forward to it, Rochinda. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is. All we are ready for is that date. Once we get the date, it's like, let's go. We're putting on them boxing gloves and we ready. I'm saying, look, let's get ready to rumble. Come on.
Get ready to rumble.
Yeah.
It'll be
So
fun.
it's exciting. It really is. It really is.
It is. Rochinda, well, what else? You are a dynamic young lady, wife, mother of adult children, speaker, life coach, conference host. What is it that you haven't done yet that you have in the horizon?
That I have not done yet. Well, right now, since I've been on, we're gonna say pause. I'm not even gonna say on lockdown. What I've done now lately, the last few days, I have been making phone calls to different people. I call it Come and Chat Rochinda, where it gives women opportunity to have these conversations with me. And it's just my way of checking in on them. We are also doing, what is it? We do a spa day, where we take a trip with the women. But I guess I think your question was, what have I not done? You know what, Michelle? I was on Facebook today and a young lady posted, did anyone know how to teach online piano lessons? So I'm sitting there like, okay, I purchased a piano like 5 years ago. And I told myself I was going to learn how to play this piano, right? Never did. So I'm thinking of maybe learning how to play the piano. That's something that I have dabbled a little bit, but I have not really taken the time to really say, Rochinda, you're going to learn how to play the piano. So that would be something that is on the horizon just for me personally, to learn how to do that. So that right there will be something fun and different. So you might, who knows, you might see the new book, the coffee table book laying right there on top of the piano.
Nice. That would be good. You know what? I like that though, because, I was having a conversation with somebody else yesterday and we were how sometimes after you get to a certain age, you just there's some things that you don't even want to learn. I hear a lot of older people say, what, I don't have the bandwidth to acquire a new piece of information that's going to take me further than I want to go and know about it. So I am glad to hear that you're considering taking piano lessons and learning to play. Hey, you can do whatever you want to do when you want to.
Absolutely, because I think where I am in my life now, so many times we're going up the ladder. I didn't went up the ladder and I'm on my way. I'm over the slope now. And so for me to say something that I really want to do for myself, the piano will be personally, but what I see is me reaching more women. And I see me going a lot further, a lot deeper, just so I can connect. But that's basically what I do anyway. But now it's like, okay, I want to take more folks with me, so kind of like, let's go, y'all. Let's go. Because one day I'm not going to be hosting the conference. Somebody else will be hosting the conference. My hopes is Kept Woman of God will continue to be around and will keep growing. And, you'll see another host up there. You'll see our daughters up there.
Yeah.
So that's exciting right there. And I'll just sit back and maybe I'll be playing the piano.
Right. You know what? Hey, I'll tell you what, when your kids come in and get involved, and your girls have been working with you and your son, your husband, this is a family affair. They're involved. And so it's good to see, it'll be good to see them, see it as a legacy and something that they can share with others, their age group, their children when they have, so
I mean, just like yourself, you think about your family of how you do certain things, and everybody is learning how to do it to the point where when we're not there, they continue to carry on the generation legacy, to keep passing it on and on and on. And, you know, when I sit back and I see my girls taking it all in, you know, you sit back, because sometimes you don't think they're listening. And you're like, yeah, they are listening. You know, I mean, I just, you know, I thank God. I thank God because had I not went through what I went through, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. None of the stories would be here. None of that. And Purpose Publishing, you all have, y'all published these books, and I just love you guys. So it's kind of like,
appreciate you.
girl, we in it. Y'all stuck with me. You might say, Rochinda, what kind of book is this? I'm like, look, we writing a book.
Anytime. We welcome it. We appreciate it. We value our authors and the opportunities, because every time one of our authors puts out something new and they entrust us with their dream, with their vision, that's a big deal. So we want to make sure that we do what you need and what you want us to do and how we can support you. We definitely want to do. So yeah. I am so glad that we have this time together. I can't believe our time is winding down on us.
That was too quick.
I know. But you know what? We'll have to come back and do it again. We'll do it again and share. And anytime you're doing anything, you know, and we will carve out some time and some space to celebrate, get on the line and connect and see what we can do to support you. So this has been Rochinda Pickens, who is the founder and CEO of Kept Woman of God Ministries Incorporated. She is the author of 2 books, 1 national bestseller, which is her signature message, From Being Kept to Being Kept. And she is the visionary and of the Picking Up the Pieces collaborating book. This girl is outstanding. She hosts the Kept Woman of God Conference, the Spa Weekend, and we didn't even get to talk about the Spa Weekend in Branson, but so we're gonna have to come back and talk about it. I want you guys to connect with Rochinda, www.keptwomanofgod.com, or reach out to her, Rochinda L. Pickens, on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Hey, this girl is everywhere. Rochinda, it's always a blessing, my dear, to chat with you. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.